I want to now introduce one of my colleagues who's also part of this lawsuit. His name is Jamie White. And Jamie, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. And thank you, John Doe 17. Your courage and your statements are going to be carried. It's going to encourage other people to come forward. And ultimately, I think we all want some accountability so that this never happens again. My comments are going to be relatively brief. I do want to echo some of what John Doe 17 indicated if you look in between the lines of his statement, and that he loves this university. And it appears that his relationship with Bo Schembechler was very special. And this situation, unfortunately, was allowed to happen. And we've seen this pattern in other institutions and other organizations. I represent hundreds of the Boy Scout victims, and we see the same patterns where very respectable people don't do the right thing necessarily, but I think the question becomes, did they have the tools to do the right thing? And what can Michigan do going forward, and other institutions do going forward, so that we have mechanisms in place so that when a John Doe 17 comes forward, there's triggers that take place almost instantaneously to make sure that other people are not affected permanently. We clearly seen this happen with Joe Paterno at at Penn State, with the Jerry Sandusky matter, in the sense that, a good man, a storied man, a legendary man, found himself in a situation where he was not necessarily making the right decisions to bring some healing and stop the pain that had been happening on that university to those young men for a significant period of time. And to John Doe's point, money seems to be the mechanism that makes institutions make permanent changes. However, there are other remedies. And I encourage the Michigan community to look at some of the non-monetary things that they can do going forward as a possible settlement in this case or otherwise, but what can they do to make sure that this doesn't happen again? The men that I've spoken with over the last 5 months are all extraordinary. They're all Michigan men. They're all Go Blue men. Not one client has indicated to me that they want permanent harm to come to this university. What they want is this university to be an example, be a voice for not only the University of Michigan, but for the sexual abuse victims in the future. And they have that opportunity. Michigan has an opportunity to be a part of an important dialogue. The conversation can eventually focus on being a solution and a cure for this cancer that has plagued our institutions over the course of several decades: colleges, Boy Scouts, churches, clergy, and otherwise. But before they can be a part of that dialogue, they must first take accountability. And until that happens, we're going to continue to see this pattern of institutions putting dollars in front of the best interest of the people that they're supposed to be representing. True leadership requires accountability, and that's what we're asking from Michigan. Thank you, Steve.